what you did and those kind of things.
Jeremy, do we have those? Okay, great. Well, I went to Haiti. Anyway, it was an amazing experience. It still is, because the Lord continues to sow in my heart like the things that He planted there. Even from the months ago when I first said yes, and the Lord orchestrated for me to be able to go, because that in itself was a miracle. Because it's actually for kids 3 and under, which is a big difference.
Yeah, 3 and under.
And I know that you women out there and men can identify with that. But I was able to go, and that was awesome. It took a village to get me there, and you guys being a major part of that. What Bridge Church was able to do, not just me, but you guys stocked me up with a bunch of school supplies to go down and supply the school, which the missionary there was thrilled with. I got a lot of stuffed animals that were a blessing to the kids at the orphanage, and besides your prayer and financial support. So you guys were there with me in December too, in many ways. So I thank you for that. But I was able to go, and I put this verse up there. It says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. So you see, He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners." And I chose this verse because it really kind of epitomized Haiti. Obviously, I saw poverty that I've never experienced before there. It definitely clears out the earwax that we have here in America. I feel like this talk was really my Haiti trip. It was like my life was a snow globe before, and I was just trying to manage it all, and God just cleared it out. And I still have the same balls that I juggle, but the Spirit of God is helping me do it instead of me trying to do it myself. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, the poverty there, the poor there was amazing, and really sad. You can scroll through these. This is all garbage in the streets. The earthquake happened. You can stop there just a minute, Jeremy. The earthquake happened 2 years ago, and it's it looks like it happened yesterday. The recovery of it is null and void, really. I know people who've been there can identify with that. Buildings are still in shambles. You can go on to the next one. This is where people live now. They live in tents, tarps, and sticks made out of that's their home. Surrounded by garbage. That's their home for 2 years. And that's just horrible. It's really sad. But that's their home, and they make it. That's where God's placed them. You can go on. I put this is Megan Boudreau, is a quote from her. I'm a missionary when I was down there. The government doesn't help them with anything, really, besides the fact of sanitation. I appreciate our sanitation system so much more now that I've been there. But she said this to me one day as we were walking up the mountain to the school. She said, "If you close your eyes really tight and use your imagination, you might think the smell of burning trash is actually barbecue." Because that's the only way they know to get rid of their garbage, which can take on a spiritual form too, but we can go on. We walked through those pictures of just the tons of people, the garbage, the tents, the turmoil of the country. And we drove from Port-au-Prince out to Gressier, to where the missionary that we're working with is planted. And this is the mountaintop where she has built the school. Talk about, her organization is called Respire Haiti, and it means breathe. She wants to give the Haitians the chance to breathe. And what better way than planting your school right on top of this gorgeous mountain with this view that takes you up and out of all that garbage and all of the wreckage, really, of their lives. This is again from the top of the mountain where the school is built. And all those little, it looks all green and lush, but amongst all those trees and greenery is just hundreds and hundreds of tent homes and just broken homes and broken hearts. And all those kids, it's a pretty steep mountain, I will say. My athletic ability was humbled by this mountain as we had to walk it every day. But these kids, these little legs, these bare feet, walk up this mountain to come to the school, or just come to Megan. Her name's hollered out all the time, to get a fresh breath of God, not just physically, but spiritually. This is the sign at the top of the mountain. At the top it says Respire Haiti, and it says, "A way for Gressier to breathe with Respire Haiti," the building program. She has built one one building already, and she's in the process of a second, and then these are all the visions that she has, like the needs of the community. She wants to do the school, she wants to have a church, a market, a computer lab, pavilion, medical clinic, library. She is a woman of faith. Like, I mean, these are all God-ordained tasks, and I mean, I got to see and witness even, especially in Haiti, which I know you understand, the work ethic and everything there is totally different than America. You know, here we might, with the funds and the people, be able to whip this out in 6 months. I don't know, my dad's a builder, he'd be able to tell me. But there it's totally different. And so this is the vision that she has and the way that we can partner with her in the future, which I'll talk more about later. This is the missionary. She's young, she's 26. She's from Louisiana, Lafayette. I think 26, maybe 25, young regardless. But she's just an amazing woman to be able to sharpen next to for a little bit. This is her and her daughter, actually. She's been there for a year now, this month in January. And the Lord has given her 2 kids in the midst of that. She was able to rescue them from, they call them rest-evac situations, basically kind of, I mean, they were just homeless. I'll tell you more about that if you want to come at another time. Anyway, go on. Sorry. This is a grandmother of one of the kids at the schools. And this kind of, again, epitomizes the people that I encountered there. That they are brokenhearted and they're crushed. They're crushed spiritually, physically, environmentally, like you see it around them. But the Lord is close to them. And they need us to come and tell that. Fortunately, a lot of people that we encounter have been evangelized. Like the gospel has been there. I mean, there's a ton of nonprofits. My brother-in-law says that has more nonprofit organizations in any country. But just like Lane encourages us, like they need encouragement to know that in the midst of their brokenness and their crushed environment, that God is there. These are just a few kiddos. You can stop there for just a minute. But all those pictures were from, we worked with the missionaries there to provide a feeding program on just one day that we were there. And surprisingly, I mean, kids are just hungry. I mean, there's food in abundance, but the money is so scarce for them. And the care is scarce for them. Like a mom who, like me as a mom, I take care of my kids, I make sure they have 3 meals and maybe some snacks. And, you know, they don't have people who care for them that way. They really take care of each other. So these were all kids waiting to receive their ticket to come get a free meal at the top of the mountain. It was an amazing probably hour of my life. Go on. This is the orphanage that we went to. Yeah, there's 2 things. We did a little bit with the school, and then we also went with this orphanage. And there's a lot of needs there. I just wanted to show you this. Like, this is the one to the left there was actually their shower, just PVC pipe and tarps. So that's one vision that I have of a way that we could possibly go down and bless those kids, is building an actual shower house for them. And the other one is their bathroom. This is the orphanage. The main building in the middle there is where they all gather. The outside buildings is where they sleep. While we were there, we did do some like tangible stuff. I didn't. These awesome men did. They installed a water pump. They did the school. The orphanage didn't have any clean water coming to their building, so we were able to do that. And this was an awesome picture. This is probably one of my favorite pictures of the trip, because they hadn't had water coming down that spout in who knows how long. And we were able to turn it on, and this little girl went up and was just like amazed that the water was flowing. And so I put, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. The water that I will give him will become a spring of water welling up to eternal life. And again, you know, a way that we can, just as we do here in our parish, you know, meet people's physical needs. Like beyond that, we don't even know what God's going to do in that. So. When I was there, it was overwhelming. I mean, to see all the needs snowball upon need. And I kind of encountered this sense of hopelessness. Like, I'm here for a week, you know, our time was somewhat managed, somewhat not. You know, that's just kind of how you roll when you go on mission trips, I've discovered. But I was really heavy by it one day. But this is a verse from Psalm 131, and God spoke to my heart and said, do not concern yourself with matters that are too wonderful for me. Like, it was too much for me to comprehend. If you go to the next slide. And this is what follows that statement. But I have stilled and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my soul within me. And that's kind of what I did. That was me holding this little baby at the orphanage. And every day I went there, I picked her up in tears and mud and just dirt. And she would just fall asleep. And I feel like God allowed me to give her the gift of peace and rest. And for me too, like that's what I needed. You know, like I needed to know, like I had to still and quiet my soul. Like my life before I left was the snow globe, you know, like craziness. And I know we all live in that snow globe a lot of time, like just waiting for it to settle. But God has called me, like just on a daily, moment-by-moment basis, to just quiet myself before Him. And I was able to do that here, which is an amazing tool, like to clear that earwax out. Like these short-term missions, like we were able to go and participate in what God was doing there. But ultimately, it was like God did so much in us as a team because we were able to escape from all the distractions that we had here, like all the craziness and the pursuits of stuff we don't even need, you know. Like we drove through garbage to get to this mountaintop to hold this baby for a week, you know. Like that's what God had me do. Go to the next one. This is the same little baby. Her name's Love Mandy, and this is another woman that I connected with. Everybody at the orphanage calls her Mama, and she's 59, and she is these kids' mama. I have more stories with her, but I was able to, through a translator, like just pray with her and encourage her and connect with her. So she needed that, and I did too. These next two slides are actually a quote from one of my teammates when I was there. And he said, we feel like we have to make something of ourselves, but instead we have to do things that make something for God. And that like echoed to me, you know, like how often the things we strive after here, it's like really ultimately, even like you were saying, like even in our spiritual lives sometimes it becomes like what I can say I did for God. Like, oh, well, I read my Bible today for 5 minutes, and oh, I prayed for this, you know, it becomes kind of a prideful thing, you know, but God was able to I'm blessed that God stripped that from me, and it's like He gave me an opportunity to do things that make something for God, and that's all the kids at the orphanage are playing like Red Rover. Another incredible story with that, but I think that's the end of the slides I have today.
Okay. Well, great. Well, that gives us a...
Just make sure I didn't talk too much.
Okay, no. That gives us a great picture. And, you know, you mentioned it, but, you know, what would you say to those who think this opportunity is out of their reach? We go to Chiapas, we may have some opportunities to go to Haiti, faith in action, opportunities to be a part of mission around our community. You're a mother, 3 little girls under 3, and, you know, I know that was hard for you. What would you say to those who say, you know, I just can't?
Well, I first say, if I can do it, you can do it. And, but I also say that, you know, God doesn't, like, He knows your situation. And if God has a call in your life to go on to Chiapas or to go to Haiti or any other mission trip, first of all, I say jump on it. Like, throw all your excuses out the window, and if you say yes, God's going to take care of all your excuses, and you will be blessed. Like the blessing of short-term missions, like I touched on, is that you get to go, and it was funny, through the sermon I was kind of like looking for that quote that you actually ended up quoting, like God like handed it to me, but the Henry Blackaby, like if you want, what is it, I lost it again. If you want to...
Find where God's working and join Him.
Yes, yeah, if you want to be a part of what God's doing, find where He's already working and join Him there. And I can tell you that at Chiapas, God is awesomely working there from testimonies I've heard from the team that went last year. And what I was able to witness in Haiti, like God is definitely at work there. And just, I am going to do a little, because it was hard for me to break it down to a 10-minute talk today. Because those of you who know me, I am a photographer, so I have hundreds of pictures that I would love to show you and tell you all about all these people. And I couldn't do that today. But I am going to there's like little flyers at the back table. And on January the 20th, my mom and dad had opened up their home, and I'm going to just share some more of what's in my heart about this country and what ways that we might be able to partner with. If you guys are interested in joining or just coming and hearing, you know, it's always great to just listen to what life's like outside of our safe and lush America.
Yeah, that's great. And this will be a Friday night, and you can come and we'll talk more. We'll also hopefully have some time there to kind of brainstorm about future opportunities and maybe trips or ways we can get involved with the ministry there to orphans, and also have some time to pray for Haiti, definitely, and the needs there. And we want to do that this morning. And let me say thank you for saying yes, for doing this, and going and bringing back such a vivid picture. You know, the quote I read, I remembered, was that, you know, in Haiti, they were #1 in child trafficking, and they were eating mud cakes for lunch. Then the earthquake happened, okay? So it was a place of great need before one of the most devastating events that ever happened, you know, in any country. So we want to pray for these folks, and God is speaking to us, I think, as a church, to go and be a part of this thing. So let's take a minute, just pray, and I ask Matt to come up and do our closing song.